Hey guys, it's another episode of Dance Moms. We're talking the return of the rotten apples. Episode 3, season 7. Let's talk about it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes. Lights again.
I love these lights.
I love these lights so much.
They're very disco. They're the best. I love them.
Yeah, very retro. I like it.
Hey guys. Yeah. Go girl. Go Pam. Go Pam.
Club. Right.
Dance Moms Club.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the AFTERBUZZ TV After Show for Dance Moms. Yay. We are talking episode 3 of season 7. I'm Jennifer Leone, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Jennifer Leone TV, and follow AFTERBUZZ as well at AFTERBUZZ TV. And please give us a thumbs up, 5-star rating, all of that. Comment, tell us what you think. We have the live chat, so please talk to us. I want to hear what you guys have to say. And please follow my co-hosts as well. Pam, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Pam Gross, and you can find me on the internet at Pamela Gross Jill.
Hi, I'm Becca Brown. You all can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
Yay.
Yeah.
So,
right.
this is a great episode.
Yeah.
I was so happy.
Drama again.
I know. I felt like this is like new. Like finally we get, I don't know, I know we had Cathy last week, but this week specifically, I felt that there was, I don't know, like this vibe that was even stronger with the girls than last week.
Yes.
Yeah, like I just felt like they kind of all just meshed and were a real team.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think the new girls are working well with them.
Yeah, they really are.
I like them.
yeah,
Love them.
yeah, they're great.
I think the new girls are great. The new moms are great. And for a second, when the episode first started, I was like, who are those girls? And then I remembered. And I was really happy to see them again, and happy that right off the bat, she said, like, you're going to be here this week and next week. So there wasn't the Abby high drama of every second in this one with the team.
Yeah.
Because there was enough. It's like, save the drama for Vivi's mama. You know, we don't need it in the room. So it was good.
Abby did do a little bit of competition by putting the two new girls together and like up against each other. We'll talk about the pyramid in a minute, but when she said maybe one of you might be here, you know, she kind of put it like them up against each other so that she lights a fire under them.
That's her specialty.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
So it opens up this whole episode with Viviane Cathy, and that it's just so good. It's just so funny because I have been waiting to see Vivi.
So grown up.
Vivi.
She's so big, but she's still the same Vivi.
Yeah. She's
like
adorable.
and emotionless, and she like I could see her like in like 50 years like smoking a cigarette, drinking like just like, you know, no, like no cares Vivi, like yeah, I can dance, my mom's a great teacher, like, you know, like she just doesn't care.
I wonder if her mom wasn't like a dance teacher, what she'd be doing. Like,
Playing baseball and eating hot dogs.
Softball, yeah, she wants to play softball.
That,
I think unless Vivi is like has a camera pointed at her and her alone, she only says one word.
yeah.
Like I've never seen. There was a part tonight where she said a complete sentence, and I was like, what?
It was in the
But
confessional,
she
I
was
think.
being, right. It was like
Yeah.
they were probably like more, please. Like her answers. It's like every time that Cathy talks to her, it sounds like a leading prosecutor being like, and did you walk into the store? You did, didn't you? Like, to someone that doesn't know what to say. Yeah.
That's totally
Yes,
it.
yes, I did. It's like, you love dancing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. She sounds really convinced when she says stuff. A lot of emotion.
Yeah, right. I love though that Cathy's just always trying to get so much enthusiasm from her, and she gets very little.
Oh,
so
none.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, right.
Close to none.
Close to none. It's like a 5%. Yeah, on a scale from like
Maybe
to
less.
110. Right.
Yeah.
Less like a 0.2.
Maybe
one of
like
those.
0.2, yeah.
Okay, got it. All right. So I still think that, you know, these minis, well, if we didn't see the next
preview.
week, right, I was like, ooh, is she even going to bring the minis back? Because right off the bat, Abby says, no minis, yeah. And then they kind of blame it on the whole like heavy group dance. I think it's just there was no place and no time. She just wanted to get this done. So,
Yeah.
and also like when Cathy was driving by Abby's like whole dance studio, she just was ripping it apart. I feel like it's there's so much I want to talk about, you guys. So
there's a lot. There's a lot. That was amazing. Cathy, again, the strangest. I'm back to my jacket. Like she pops up and it's like your windows have cobwebs.
Yeah.
Her criticisms are so bizarre.
Yeah.
They're so
Like
weird.
we don't have cobwebs on ours. What else did she say?
Well,
Cobwebs
it was
and
bird
bird poop.
poop. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like bird poop.
Yeah.
What a weird. Like it's an awning outdoors.
Right,
There's gonna
right.
be bird poop on it sometimes. It's just that she's so bizarre. I love it. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, but what a wackadoo.
Right,
yeah,
right.
she has to pick on every little thing to make herself
Feel better. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
I just think it's funny that they went from that Cathy just like, you know, pulling lines out of Vivi and criticizing Abby to Abby trying to get something done. She's like, okay, boom, boom, boom. And now we're starting Pyramid. Finally, because I don't remember the last time there was a pyramid, to be honest.
I don't
I don't
remember
either.
either.
Yeah.
Like
The
last
minis
season.
destroyed Pyramid.
I
Those
know.
minis came and we lost Pyramid.
Speaking of the minis, I'm not surprised that she's keeping them off while Kathy's around, just because I feel like Kathy's team does have potential, and I feel like the minis dancing with the older girls kind of brings the dances down a little.
Oh,
bit
okay, that
level-wise.
makes sense.
Well,
Yeah.
that is astute. I think that is really astute, but and we'll I don't want to spoil dance talk, but none of our predictions about what Cathy was going to do came true. I'll save this for, but we did think she was going to mix it up with boys and new choreographers like the old Cathy. And she didn't.
Nationals.
So I was happy she didn't. Oh,
She
nationals.
yeah, right. And then, but
Yeah.
then she kind of did with bringing Vivian, and she wanted to make sure that she was on the show, and then doing this whole lyrical that she thought was beautiful and amazing.
Yeah.
But you know, I think to her, she thought she did her part.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then
I guess.
nationals, I think you're right, Becca.
Yeah.
She'll bring in some boys.
Ah,
Be like,
totally.
"Here."
Wild cards for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Pyramid.
All right.
And on the bottom of the pyramid is Nia and Kalani.
Because they didn't win, right? That's why.
Right. I guess. I mean, technically no one won. but
Right.
yeah.
So Nia and Kalani were on the bottom of the pyramid, but it was even for Abby. She wasn't. Usually, it's like you. She was like, well, you know, you didn't win. That's why. But
Yeah.
I don't think she shamed them too hard.
Well, she did to Bryn and Kendall, but well, I'll just go through the pyramid. So it's Nia and Kalani at the bottom, Viviana and Cameron. They first off, she's putting them against each other. She's definitely like doing this. So with Viviana and Cameron, she immediately did this. Just I think to just kind of light that fire again.
them
This
to
is the
step up.
second. Yeah, this is the second time.
Yeah.
And now she didn't really have to put two on each level. She could have critiqued each one of those girls and put them in order, like how she always does. So I thought it was weird that she had this set up. It was kind of like lazy to me, but I think she did everything for a reason. And then she put Bryn and Kendall at the top because they won, but they technically
They
didn't
didn't
win, right?
Yeah.
So she definitely said something about it.
Definitely, because why wouldn't she?
Right.
Right. Well, she has to. That's her,
Not
her
first
deal.
place.
Not first.
Yeah.
Well, if they were at the New York Dance Experiment, or what is it? Experience? No,
Experience,
yeah.
Yeah,
They
wouldn't have
that's what they
placed.
were. Yeah, they wouldn't have
Yeah.
placed at all. So I
Right.
mean, makes sense. I get her mindset.
Okay.
So they go to the New York Dance Experience.
Okay.
And they have this group number, Pretty Reckless. And as they were
love it.
putting it together, right, I love the idea.
And I love that Kalani was like the center of it. It was fun seeing her shine, seeing her on TV more in the close-ups and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, completely. I feel like we do get a lot of Kalani, and even though she's quote unquote one of Abby's favorites, we do not get the
We don't get
camera
her
on
anything.
her the way we did. Maybe she's not high enough drama, but I loved that it coincided with her birthday and
Yes.
driving, so it was a really poignant lesson, which she
Yes.
mentioned later. And also, yeah, seeing Kalani she's always a favorite dancer of mine, but she was so amazing. And it was great to see her in a number she related to and that they related to us with her birthday and everything.
Yes. Right. Yeah. And then her dad rolls up in
I loved that.
a beautiful car.
Range Rover.
A Range Rover. Just don't worry about like how much that is. Like it's like
and all the girls
so
are like fighting over who gets to sit in the front seat.
Yeah.
Like jokingly fighting.
So cute.
So funny.
Yeah.
I know. It's like it actually kind of made me feel old, like for the first time ever. Like I've never felt that way because I'm like, I see these girls as little girls. I mean, I know we didn't see Kalani as so little.
Yeah.
But she's still to me
She's
like
grown
in
up a
that
lot.
group. Yes. So I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, I remember when I was that age and I wasn't doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
So I feel like they've accomplished so much. So we don't think about how old they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. If you think about regular 16-year-olds, like they're so professional that you don't think of them doing those reckless things, but it must be a part of their life.
Oh, well, that probably.
Peer group.
See, I have to go against that and think that if they have more fame and money, then they probably are a little more reckless.
It's a good thing they're so busy though, because they can't have that much time to be being reckless.
Right,
Our code word for all things mischievous.
Or
is
if
reckless.
they get that one chance to be reckless, then they take it. So, you know, it's one of those things you never know.
Save it for college, kids. Save it for college.
I think it's also weird seeing like the normal aspect to their life because we just see them dancing and stuff, and we never see the like normalcy, them being like teenagers and going out and like shopping or like driving,
Never.
et cetera.
Right.
Yeah.
We just see them like signing autographs, taking pictures, dancing.
It's cool seeing her get a car on the show.
Yeah.
And such a pretty car. I'm like, oh, I can't.
The cute baby, the baby.
Oh my gosh.
That baby was so cute.
We had to rewind it because
We're like, oh my god, that's
Kalani's
the cutest baby.
Kalani's little brother is just the sweetest. The sweetest. He's so cute.
Yeah. Very cute.
So Abby gives Kendall a solo.
Yes.
And I'm very, 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 very happy about that because I feel like it is her time, and I think Abby realized that too.
Yeah. She did give it the all-important, this is a Maddie solo distinction, which, again, not to Maddie it up, but that does mean she's putting a lot into it. She's going to give it beautiful choreography. She's going to put her attention towards it, and she wanted it to be acted well. And I think that was a show of faith towards Kendall in a good way.
I think
not in a pressure way for once, but in a nice way, in that I'm going to give you this competitive piece that I think can win.
Absolutely.
So
I think calling it a Maddie solo is a compliment.
Yeah.
To Kendall. When Jill was like talking about like how Abby needs to like have more faith in her and stuff, I'm like, so do you though.
Good.
I'm
like,
exactly.
more faith.
Exactly.
Right?
Come on.
No, I really, really agree with you. I really, really do. I think that she needed to use that language so that Kendall can appreciate it and know that she's on that level.
Yep. I agree, and I really agree with you. I feel like Jill, with her best interests are Kendall, of course, but her saying that if it was Bryn and they said we're giving you a Maddie solo, Bryn's mom would have been like, great,
yes,
a Maddie
awesome.
solo. Finally, my daughter gets this attention and this wonderful dance in a beautiful costume. Only Jill is like, well, Maddie chose to leave, so make this a Kendall solo. You know, only Jill sees the negative there. Yeah, I mean,
I do think it's closer to like a solo that Kendall's solos Kendall has had in the past, just like more winning choreography, like.
Well, she always plays pretty.
Yeah.
So this was, it was a balance of pretty and dark.
Yeah.
So I think that this
More character.
Also for Abby, this was a step up because Abby never does that to Kendall. It's like either one extreme or the other, so she put that together, and I like that. She was like, you know what, this is your time. I'm gonna give you a gift and give you something to work with.
And we saw some acting skills.
Yes.
Right. I will hone in on that a little later because I have opinions, but that's when she actually performance.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to Cathy. So what did you guys think of her just sitting in that room and talking to them, the girls, about Abby and everything like that. Just this whole thing.
Why do you need to talk about Abby so much? That's what I think.
That's all she has to talk about. I mean, that's her only reason for being in Los Angeles and concocting this team.
Yeah.
She's just sitting there fuming, steam coming out of her ears. She's obsessed with Abby and obsessed with Abby's windows. I think she mentioned them again.
Yeah, like 4
saying,
times.
like, her windows
Four
are
times.
dirty. It's like, all the better for you not to peer into, Cathy. I mean, that's probably why Abby keeps her windows dirty. Yeah, she doesn't need little Cathys popping their heads in.
Go teach your team.
Yeah.
Right?
Stop spying.
Yeah.
I wonder if she really did choreograph it, though.
I think she did because I thought that the dances weren't great.
Okay,
So-
so,
Yeah,
we'll go
see.
up there, yeah.
So, yeah.
I thought Nikaya's choreography was pretty good.
I thought Nikaya's beautiful. Just
Yeah, no, she's really
beautiful
good.
and a powerful dancer. So I was on board. I was ready for her to slay. I was like, shit, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
And she had no moves. There was no choreography. That's why I was like, oh, Cathy, definitely. Or to the layman viewer, there might have been some sophistication that was subtle, but it did not.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, I don't know if you caught some beautiful dance moves.
I'm saying,
but
no, God, no. We'll talk about that later, though.
she was relying on, which I think she was. Should I save this?
Yeah,
Comments for
yeah,
okay.
save it.
I wonder.
Saving it.
Go ahead.
I wonder if the producers chose that like theme for her solo, or if Cathy did, because it was
think
kind of
that's all
copying Nia's
All
solo.
Cathy. All Cathy trying to have a statement, but as per Cathy, it was
Yeah,
a whole lot of
'cause
fluff.
One of Nia's solos had the speaking thing too.
Right. That was, what was that?
The
Maya Angelou.
Maya Angelou.
Maya Angelou, yeah.
Also, gotta say, I don't think Harriet Tubman had to convince the speaking part, and audience.
We will
tell me if
talk
I'm wrong.
about
Okay,
that
I'm like,
later,
did
yeah.
she need to convince me?
Yeah.
Like,
So, but with Cathy, so she's talking about doing lyrical numbers, and I'm like, she knows that that's what Abby does. And we see 12-year-old Vivi doing like eye rolls, and it's just, I'm like, yes, we finally get Vivi back. I'm like, I don't care if
like,
she just stands there. No, I
yeah.
don't care if she stands there with the hula hoop. I want her
Vivi,
to
yes.
just be in the show.
I
Yeah.
agree.
She's entertaining.
Well, Cathy was making her comment about Abby's droopy boobs.
Oh, that was.
Vivi was just sitting there playing with her top, like not paying attention to you know what I mean? And then she's like, oh, like, well, during
She's
the
like,
boob
yeah.
line, she was sitting there playing with her top, and I was like,
She's just used to
just
Cathy.
be you, Vivi. Yeah, just rock on with her bad self. She
Just
can do
be
no
you.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just play with your top, Vivi. Play with those sequins.
I love Vivi.
Pay you no mind to Cathy.
We
Yeah.
all love Vivi.
Vivi.
So
Vivi
with
Appreciation Day.
Cathy gives the group a lyrical dance called The One, or was it My One? My One.
Oh,
and
God.
it's based off of Vivi. And she wants to show the world that Vivi is her one. But then later on, she's like, this is about me. This is about me. She kept repeating that over and over again. I'm like, so which one is it about?
Yeah.
Is it about Vivi or is it
Get
about
your
you?
story straight.
Yeah.
Right.
And the end of the dance has Vivi on her knees, like glancing up to another dancer.
Yeah, it's
like
weird.
it highlights. It's like, wait, how is this about Vivi? She's on the ground praising
Well,
someone else.
maybe that someone else is supposed to be a young Cathy. Maybe Cathy's like, oh, Vivi's just sitting here looking
my
at
gosh.
me. Yeah, that's
I
probably
have
what
to
it
say
is.
she's graceful.
Maybe.
She's
If
graceful.
anything, Vivi's really graceful.
Vivi, okay, all
watching her
right.
dance.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we now will move on to Abby's choreography with Kendall. Kendall being tested and Pretty Reckless when they were doing their dancing when they were just practicing. It to me already looked like it was.
It was meant for this, like, should be on
Like
stage.
ready?
Oh
That's
yeah,
how
it
stage
looked
ready.
ready. It was like, okay, these girls are picking this up fast, and immediately I thought of the last text, so I'm glad that they brought that up.
I don't understand how they pick stuff up so fast.
I know. Well, you know what? I
I will
think it's
never get it.
every day.
Amazing.
It's like if you do it every day, it's like second nature. So, I mean, they've been doing it since they were 2.
Yeah.
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 They're like,
that-
here's a dance move, and then they learn like 500 other dance moves in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
okay.
Right.
that was wild to see also the cut of the text. Because
Yeah.
you forget what little babies, like, they were driving, they were like 9. Like,
And
this
it's
was
so-
relevant. I mean, that was a relevant one as well, but this was age appropriate. The theme was they really, Kalani is going to be driving now.
Right.
Yeah.
So
right.
it was even more poignant than watching them as little girls, even though that dance was amazing.
Right.
This was, incredible.
And to talk about cutting back to the last text, I didn't realize that was so long ago, not just seeing how young they are, but seeing Paige, seeing Brooke, seeing, like, it was just like,
Chloe there?
yeah,
I think
Chloe
so.
there?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
It's just, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So moving on, though, Black Patsy.
Oh, Black Patsy.
So now they are in a bus on their way, both teams, and they're up against each other in these buses.
Jill cracked me up.
Jill's so funny, but then Black Patsy's like, I'm gonna moon them.
And I'm like,
I think that Cathy was right on this one when she said, keep it classy,
Yeah.
ladies, keep it classy. What'd you think?
one time I will side with Cathy.
Right.
For the very
Yeah.
one time.
Even though Cathy couldn't be less classy. And Black Patsy had her typical... She said something like, right in the beginning when they showed her, like, everyone thinks I'm so confrontational. Oh, she said this earlier when they were teaching...
Oh, I'm
The
going to talk
dance.
about that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely talk
Okay.
about that.
Well, okay.
You know what? Yeah, let's talk
is
about that now. So when they were talking about the Harriet Tubman dance, it was, I thought, in my opinion, it seemed a little much with the emotion, but in the room it was fine, but when she started talking in the confessional, it was like a lot of emotion, bringing up stuff about Jill that didn't need to be said. It was like, this is my one shot for TV, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna burst out everything I got. That's what
Right.
it felt like to me.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like, keep your emotions separate from Jill.
Well, she said, everyone thinks I'm confrontational and starting fights, but I'm just protecting my child. And
So is
no,
Jill.
you're not. Jill doesn't come up to you and go, your child sucks
Yeah.
and is a terrible dancer. B, Black Patsy giving unsolicited, rude comments to a mother about their daughter is confrontational and uncivilized. You're not protecting anyone. You're just being rude. No one asked, how do you feel about my daughter's performance? And then if you were just being honest and said, you know what, I don't think she's that would be what she's claiming to do. Or even if she was defending, but she's constantly starting and attacking and then acting like, what? Why is,
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
just
why-
saying,
I'm innocent.
I'm just saying, right, what, like, but no one asked you and you don't need to say every rude thing. That's called civilized human. We don't say everything.
It's called
to our
civilized
mind.
human.
Yeah.
And it's funny because she does that, but then proves what you're saying multiple times later on in this episode. So it's funny though.
Yeah.
But on the bus, and she goes to moon them, I'm like, oh geez,
Yeah, I'm
thank
like,
God.
no chill.
Yeah, right? Thank God
Yeah.
Cathy has a little sense and was like, hey, because that would just be a little much. Becca, what's the chat saying? We don't have the chat up there yet, so... anything going
I saw
on?
Black
No,
Patsy
nothing.
15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, 15 minutes of fame.
Or 15
fame.
seconds.
Well,
I
that's
agree.
also the whole thing with I almost thought she was like laughing or embarrassed when she put her hands on her head and then came up crying. That's what you're saying of her 15 because it was so powerful and moving.
Yeah.
It wasn't powerful and moving.
Right,
The
right.
voiceover was kind of cheesy.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
We'll talk
it's like,
about it.
I guess
she
you're
didn't
proud
even
of
hear
your daughter,
she didn't even
but-
hear the voiceover yet, but like it was like
Yeah.
it was just a lot of emotion for bullshit. It was
Right.
like over and over again. So sorry, Black Patsy, I'm not buying it. We're not buying it.
Sorry, Black Patsy.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
So Kendall's Solo, when they actually are at this dance competition, I love them getting off of the bus. I love that whole.
yeah.
I'll just start that
Okay.
first off. When it was like lights, camera, everything was good, and you see Cathy, and she's just
Cathy and
completely
her
miserable.
squad.
Yeah, completely miserable. And Abby, I love her attitude, and she's just
like,
taking
"Smile."
pictures. She's taking pictures. She's not noticing anything.
Nope. She's just walking on by while Kathy's giving the finger in the distance. And
Well, that
so
was the cherry on
mad.
top.
Yeah, Kathy's so furious because she wants to pretend that Abby doesn't have fans. And it's like, Kathy, there's no contest here between you and Abby
Yeah.
fame-wise. I mean,
No.
come on.
I'm still proud of Abby
Yeah.
for acting. show.
Yeah.
Right, I was too, and she had a big smile on her face.
Yeah.
So, but they get there, and you know, they start off. Let's go into the actual performances. So my one was the first one, right? Or what was the first one? Oh, the Pretty Reckless was, right? Wait, tell me which one was the first.
The
It was
Kendalls was
That's
the first
right.
dance we
Yes. Okay, so the Scream. It's an open dance, and it's basically, I don't know. What did you guys think of the whole thing?
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I thought she did good. I myself, I don't think could picture Maddie doing that solo exactly.
See, it's funny
I
because
don't
I
know.
could.
Yeah, I could too.
And I was comparing, so even though you shouldn't compare, I thought Kendall did a great job. I thought that everything she did really, really worked, except she got about 20% better with her face and emotion.
Yeah.
She does really good with the extremes. So when you have to really, you know, scream out loud, she did great.
Yep.
But when it was those middle grounds, the transition, she was still like, so
Yeah.
you need to
I
feel
agree.
it through the whole thing.
Yes.
And that's
The
what
acting
Maddie
through
would
the
have
whole
done.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Maddie would have done.
That's maybe why I couldn't see Maddie doing it, because Maddie would have shown the emotion
Yeah.
like through the whole thing, whereas Kendall did good with emotion during a lot of it.
Right.
But
Yeah, I agree that it was so over the top acting wise that Kendall was forced to perform.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which worked for her.
Right.
Because
She needs
when
more.
not forced to, like the moments when she wasn't showing extreme emotion, she went back to I think she's in her head. She's
Yeah,
just
she
focusing
focuses.
on her dancing.
She's absolutely in her head.
yeah.
Yeah.
But when she's forced to be so big like that, it comes out. So I think that's good for her. They should keep giving the extreme
Yeah,
stuff.
Absolutely.
So she can
I agree.
emote.
Yeah,
Yeah.
steps, everything though was really great. Technique was great. I thought everything else was awesome on Kendall's
The
part.
makeup.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the makeup
That
was
was
great.
interesting.
And I
Yeah.
really liked that again that she had this dark side. Like, you know, they gave her that darkness because
At the end, you saw it.
well, even in
Yeah.
the middle
Yeah.
when she
When she's
goes
in the
to the side in the
corner.
corner.
That's true.
Yeah. So when she did that, I just felt like, okay, good Abby and good Kendall. Like this
Yeah.
is finally happening. How many
We
years
see it.
later? Right, and we finally see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And good, I thought the choreography in and of itself was great. It was a good dance. It was
Yeah.
fun
it was
to
good
watch.
choreography.
It was.
It was
yeah.
really cool. She
Yeah.
did all sorts of spinny moves and weird moves.
Right.
and it was great.
So now let's move on to Nikaya and Harriet. Yeah, so go ahead. And,
Okay.
Pam, I know you got opinions, so let's hear.
Okay, so I thought that, as I touched on earlier, I was so excited to watch that dance. I didn't want her to win, but I was excited to see the dance because of the lead up to it. And I felt like the dance was a lot of sidestep, and she was beautiful and she moved beautifully, but it was a boring dance. There wasn't a lot to it and I think that's exactly, if she had an iota of good choreography, I think she would have won.
Yeah.
I love
agree.
Kendall, and I'm 100% team Kendall here, but I think that Kaya's probably a better dancer or a stronger dancer, and if
Yes.
there was any sophistication to the dance other than gimmick and this is powerful, she would win. But the
This is
dance wasn't
powerful.
good. You know, the dance itself.
I agree with
Okay.
you.
I
Yeah, we all
completely-
agree.
Okay, woo, because I
Yeah.
never know, you know.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, I just think to another level, I think that it was actually worse than what you said.
Okay.
I thought that the choreography was so under what she could do.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
as a
she has more skill
dancer,
than that.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And if that was Abby, oh
She would've
my
taken it.
gosh.
Uh-huh.
She would have just beat Kendall
Yeah.
out of the water. Kendall's great.
Right.
We'll say that. Kendall's great.
Yeah.
But
Kendall,
she's
but-
no Kalani. She's no Maddie. And the thing is that you can beat Kendall if you really
you-
do a
right,
great job.
Have the choreography.
yeah. And
She gave it the best she could. It was
Right.
just a shitty dance.
right.
you know?
And the whole Harriet thing, the whole Harriet Tubman idea too, a lot of times they do give favor to that. So she could even have beaten if
Yeah.
Kalani had a solo.
Right.
But
It
unfortunately,
wasn't competitive
it
enough.
was, and the whole beginning was weird, and also I didn't understand why she kept doing that with her dress too.
Right.
It was just and no technique. I mean, there was
Yeah.
just really nothing.
And unfortunately, every ingredient for winning thing, a great dancer, a powerful theme. She looked great. Sorry, choreography matters, Cathy. That's why you got to bring in the ringers, because
Right.
Yeah.
she's not a good choreographer. You know?
I agree with Watcher Carter's comment about Kendalls Solo on the chat that it was like Maddies Dance on Pretty Little Liars, if anyone saw that.
Oh, I didn't see it.
No.
Yeah,
We'll have to
it was
check it
kind of
out.
dark like that.
Oh, can you guys tweet me? Tweet me a video because I want to see it. So let's move on though with what you said earlier. What? Oh, it wasn't Jill. It was Cathy talking to Black Patsy, and she said, "Abby's a witch with droopy boobs."
Yeah.
I couldn't. Yeah, it's like. The same thing. I thought of you, Pam, because it's all of these.
What? No.
No, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. No. I thought of you because
I'm joking.
If you'd let me say why I thought of you, I thought of you because you say she keeps bringing out all of these, random sayings that are like from 1956 that don't make
Right.
sense.
And do they know words besides witch?
Yeah. And way to keep it classy, Cathy. It's like,
Well, her
she's-
thesaurus is this big,
Yeah,
as Abby says.
I agree with that.
That was
Yeah.
the
That
best.
was the best
That was
line.
the
I'm
best
like,
singer.
yep.
Abby got her.
Yeah.
Abby got her with a lot of one-liners. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
yay! I was on Team Abby for that. I was like
Yeah.
hoping for the best. So that I just wanted to talk about that really quick, and they had no right in their room, so we'll
That
skip
was
over
ridiculous.
that. But yeah, it was ridiculous, the whole thing, and it did remind me of when she was in the other girl's face back in those years ago. Yeah, the whole thing.
But it's like, don't walk in their dressing room and then start screaming and tell them they're in the wrong while you're in their dressing room. What?
Yeah,
That's ridiculous. So the whole thing, I think, was just for the show.
totally.
Yeah, it's too much, and they really
Yeah.
want to fight. So then they go back into the dances. I like how in this episode they're going back and forth from dance to drama, dance
drama,
to
yeah.
drama. Yeah, it's not like
It's not save the drama for the end.
right. It's not like, okay, how long are these dances? Because then we know that there's a
Yeah.
lot of drama if there's a lot of time at the end.
Yeah,
like
surprise.
if they're doing the dances at 30 minutes in, like there's gonna be 45
Yeah,
minutes of
drama
at
of
the
drama, right?
Well-paced drama to dance.
Yes. So
Gotta have that drama.
my one lyrical, yeah, that's next. My one. I'll let you girls take this on.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cuckoo.
It was,
Cuckoo.
well, when Holly said, so after the dance, I was like, oh, okay, good. They're not going to win.
Yeah,
that
like,
was fine. But again, trying to win and bringing in Vivi, who, again, we love you, Vivi, but as your
Technique-wise.
yeah, to be a big win.
It
to
was a
beat
mess.
Abby. It was
it was a mess.
All right.
I didn't see any winning potential in that number.
No, the whole thing was ridiculous. I'm like, they're on so many levels, just on so many levels. I'm like, is this serious?
I feel like they were like walking on stage and
Oh,
just
yeah.
like being like,
Well, Vivi
Okay.
stretched a lot. You saw her stretch.
How about the moment where it was Vivi and then the really tall girl doing?
yeah, I was
What
like,
was that move?
That's what I was talking. That was her waiting while other girls did pirouettes.
Yeah.
She was waiting and stretching.
like,
Yep.
but she had to be sort of held.
Right.
In her
She had to be
stretch.
held in her stretch, and it was like halfway too. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, oh.
Poor. This is just everyone
She's
looked.
graceful.
And it's
Just
so.
keep saying that.
It's so funny though because so many of those girls are so talented that you didn't even notice their talent because you were
No.
too distracted by just the mess that was going on.
Yeah.
There wasn't choreography, like good
No.
choreography.
No, and also
No.
like the minis, you can totally tell that those girls don't dance together. I mean, it was
Wait, you're saying like it was like the minis?
It was like the minis in that they were not this one solid unit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That even the new girls with Abby's team, they did blend seamlessly. But
Yeah.
that team just looked like a bunch of dancers that didn't
Solo
match.
dancers on stage.
Yeah, doing a dance together. It was not great to watch.
And right after it, we immediately see Pretty Reckless start and see Kalani. And
And Kalani starts it.
in that First, I think just 5 seconds,
What's
you just
going on?
immediately go, no, they won.
Right.
They
Yeah.
won more.
I was
No.
like,
Yeah.
She could stop dancing right there and they'd take first.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Agreed.
Just-
Felt the same power, like chills.
It's just so good. And everything, it was just, and that's graceful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's,
That is.
and just
that's-
technique and
that's
just
technique.
perfect.
Her poise and her face, her acting was.
Kalani's acting
Perfect.
is always on point.
Always.
And
She
we
doesn't get
don't-
enough credit,
yeah,
I
we don't
think.
get
No.
enough of her.
People are going to argue that, but I don't care.
I thought
Kalani
it was
doesn't get
great.
enough.
She had that teenager smirk / confidence. That's hard to. I wouldn't even know how to tell someone to do that face.
It's like,
that she did.
I know everything. Well, because
Right.
she's a teenager, she's probably doing
Right.
that teenager
Also, those
face.
dresses,
Right. Like
those
act-
costumes,
Great.
and
Oh,
such
they
dresses.
weren't they wearing like
They were
chokers too?
so cute.
Yeah, it
I was like,
like
I want one.
right. They were like up. I noticed that too. That they were just know modern. I think they were wearing chokers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
cute,
wanted one
very
of those
baby doll.
dresses.
Well, I thought it's funny because when I first saw them when they were before they started dancing, I was like, those dresses are stupid. I don't really like them. And then it worked so
No, it worked
perfectly.
really well.
Great, yeah.
It worked with their movements and with the like we're teenagers.
And in the end, Cathy was barely clapping. If we saw how she was clapping, she was just basically like, and then she wasn't even looking. She would just look. Yeah, it was.
Abby
yeah.
clapped for Kathy's dance.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because she knows that it wasn't
Classic.
as good too. It's like, so let's move on to awards.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do awards. Yay!
Drum roll.
The Scream, Kendall won
Yay,
with the Scream.
Kendall.
Yeah, yeah.
Good
And
for Kendall.
yeah.
oh,
Yay, Kendall!
oh, thank you. So it was literally like no second place, no third place. This was just one and done.
Yeah.
And the group won with
No surprise.
they're Pretty Reckless. It won, no
Yay.
surprise. I mean, just so good, just so good.
Yeah.
And everyone was really upset. And I did not like seeing Nikaya. Is that her name, Nikaya?
Yeah.
What she had to say, I thought that was a
That
little
was
ridiculous.
Rude.
Yeah.
She's
I
acting like her
totally
mother.
agree.
Yeah.
And she's not going to get very far if she keeps that attitude. I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now. Because they're not the only famous people she's going to be up against.
Oh no.
And Kendall's never won before. It's not like she's winning first place all the time because she's famous.
Right,
That's
right,
so
right.
unfounded. And the dance was better. She was a sore loser, and it's not attractive.
And it's
No, the sore
wrong.
loser thing
yeah,
isn't
sore
attractive.
loser is not cool. Like I deserve to win. No, you don't. Your dance wasn't that good.
Right, and it was wrong to say that on TV too, and
Yeah.
for her mom to just
Let her
condone
say it.
Well, they
her.
all cheered her on. I mean,
It's wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's one thing for the moms to like put it in the face, but once it starts being the kids, it's like, how do you really influence them? Like you're
Yeah.
really like Black Patsy,
You're
like you think
bad
you're
influence.
right. You think that you're strong and standing up for your daughter. That's not what that
No.
is. Yeah.
yeah, she's creating a monster, and who could be. I was going to ask when we were talking about it earlier, and how great she is. Kaya, I guess that's her nickname.
Nikaya. Or Kaya, yeah.
She's calling her Kaya.
Uh-huh.
Calling her Kaya too. But why did Abby get rid of them? Was it because of
She's
Black
probably
Patsy's
bad.
attitude, or
No.
'cause
Oh
she's
wait, what
probably
was
a really
it?
good dancer.
No, I forget what it was.
I think she's progressed a lot since, like skill wise.
Well, you can't tell.
She tried out for the team.
Well,
Okay.
whatever. You can't really
Yeah.
tell anyway because of that choreography, and she's with
No, the
Candy Apples.
choreography was,
Yeah,
right.
The court, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, but
No, I wanted to touch on that. I felt like it was just the whole thing was wrong. Even if you're on their side and think that they should win. You say congratulations and
Yeah.
you move forward. So I don't know. You'll never be famous if you do that, because the thing is if you actually beat them, then you'll be famous. So
Right.
just focus on your own.
Yeah.
Right.
Like stay in your lane, focus on your own work, and don't bitch and complain about it in the end.
yeah,
focusing
worry about
on-
yourself.
Right, right. So let's move
The
on to
others.
predictions really quick.
Okay.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
All right, what do you ladies think? Becca, you go first.
Drama between the mini moms and the junior elite moms.
Good call.
Good call. Because as we can tell, that the two
Liliana
minis
and
that are back
Eliana.
is Liliana and Eliana. So we are very, very excited for that. I called it. But anyway.
You did. You get the prediction prize.
So go ahead.
Yes.
What do you think?
I predict that the piece between the new girls and the moms won't last. Unfortunately, I hope it does, but I don't think this love fest is gonna last forever.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I agree.
Do you think Kathy will be back next week?
From what the preview had in store, I don't think so. Just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I think the minis are gonna be back, so. No need
Abby
for
tries to
Kathy.
protect the minis from
Yeah,
Kathy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no need for Kathy.
I'm excited to see what happens. I think that you're right, Pam. I think that the peace and harmony is short-lived here, and there's going to be some drama coming in, especially when there's no Kathy. Because I feel like if there's no Kathy, then there
Drama.
really is,
Yeah.
So there's got to be drama somewhere.
There has to be.
Yeah.
It's not Dance Moms without drama.
Nope.
Nope. So Liliana and Eliana, I want to see how they are incorporated. Maybe they won't be able to catch up. Maybe they
won't.
do.
Yeah.
Maybe they're better than the big girls. And who knows? And after that, if those two girls stay, Cameron and what was the other girl's
Cameron
name?
and
Deviana. Cameron and Deviana. So if both of them stay, then that's one big group. So we'll see who gets cut.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wanted to let you guys know, too, that we're taking a little hiatus.
Hiatus.
Yeah, a little hiatus from the show. So we are going to be back after the new year, and it'll be probably like the second week of January, and then we'll figure out if we're going to do a lot of the episodes in one or just give you,
A week.
Yeah, just... I don't know. We'll figure that all out. Tell us in the comments what you guys prefer, if you want us to knock it all out in one episode or just give you hours of what we have to think.
Yeah.
So you guys, tell them where they can find you.
Hi, I'm Becca. You all can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
Hi, I want to say happy holidays to everybody before we go. And my name is Pam. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Pamela Gross Jill.
I'm Jennifer Leone, and you could find me on Instagram and Twitter at Jennifer Leone TV, and follow AfterBuzz TV as well. They tweet out everything that you guys have to say about us, so please tweet us. I am Jennifer Leone, and you could find me again on Instagram and Twitter, AfterBuzz TV, and let's think what else. I'm trying to think of everything. Give us a thumbs up, 5-star rating, everything, and we will see you after the new year. Happy holidays, you guys!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.